It is 7:30 on the dot now. We are just hours away from the House voting on the next stimulus bill. This time, it includes a new child tax credit. This morning, what that could mean for your family.
More people are becoming eligible to receive a vaccine in Idaho.
Roughly 60% of Idahoans who are anxiously awaiting, if not already vaccinated, anxiously waiting to get vaccinated.
Today we'll tell you why officials are now expressing concern for people who are waiting to get a vaccine dose of their own.
And we've got a little bit of fog hanging out downtown, but you don't have to go far to get out of it. I'll let you know how long that fog is expected to stick around.
Up with KREM begins now.
Hey, if you're not near your screen, take a look because we really want to show you this morning on Up with KREM this moment right there, the buzzer-beating, game-winning shot in the WCC Women's Basketball Championship. Gonzaga's Jill Townsend gets her shot in right as the clock runs out. Both Gonzaga teams did leave the tournament yesterday victorious, so now we just can't wait for March Madness to begin. The most amazing part of that story to me, Jen, that's the only basket she had all day.
Yeah, it's a really important one to make. So congrats to the team this morning. Dana Marie, I know you were watching live as that happened.
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't fall off the treadmill or anything.
I was sharing with you guys earlier that I just was at the gym with my headphones in and just screamed so loud. Was not on the treadmill, thankfully, because I probably would have fallen straight on my face in excitement. But what an awesome day. The women's Zags and the men's basketball team, both WCC champs, and going into the tournament, the NCAA tournament, with some really good vibes.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was going to ask Dana Marie what she screamed. Were you like, yes? Or were you
yeah,
like,
it was just like, yeah!
Just for a little story, so Dana and I have joked before. She has seen, we go to the same gym sometimes, and she has seen me working out. She said, you're always so intense. And I want to tell you, Dana Marie, I'd love to flip the switch and watch you watching that game,
Yes.
flipping out. That would be, I would love that.
I was just so excited. Probably not the only one in the gym, very, very excited all over the country.
Probably.
Very excited for them.
Oh man, love it. Let's do some weather. Let's let you know what to expect early on this morning. Top of South Hill, we are out of the fog. You head downtown. It's a little bit colder. All that moisture then condenses as it hangs out down in the bottom of the valley, and you get fog. This is going to be the case tomorrow morning as well, so do expect that, but don't expect it to last too long. Our current weather pattern is one that favors a higher sun angle. Well, it's just that time of year. The sun gets up a little higher, so it can actually burn off some of that fog quite a bit quicker than it does in the dead of winter. So I think here by the end of our show, by 9 o'clock, we are going to be looking at that fog kind of making its way out of downtown as that sun comes up. So just get ready for it. Temperatures going to rise as that happens. We've got a storm down to our south, but as that moves out, it opens the door for a little disturbance to slide in from the north. And that disturbance comes ahead of our next little ridge of high pressure that builds in, and that ridge is what clears us out tomorrow. But we got to get there. Today, it's a few isolated showers developing this afternoon, growing more intense into this evening, then dying down once the sun goes down. And did I mention we clear out tomorrow? Oh yeah, tomorrow, nothing but sunshine. But we got to get there. So today, it's temps in the upper 40s. Almost 50, but upper 40s is what we're going to call it. And that's thanks to some of those isolated showers. You'll see a mix of clouds and sun. And under those showers might be a bit intense at times with rain, snow, and even a little graupel.
Jeremy, thank you. Coming up now, 7:34. This morning, we're taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol building. Pretty sunny there in the nation's capital. Today, the House is expected to pass the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill. Now, that bill includes $1,400 stimulus payments. It also provides increased unemployment benefits. Part of the bill also includes a child tax credit. Democrats say it will help lift nearly 10 million children above the poverty line. Now, that bill proposes monthly payments to families with children, and that could begin as early as July and run through the end of the year. Under the plan, the U.S. government will pay families $300 per month for every child under the age of 5. It would be $250 for each child age 6 to 17. Now, those amounts begin to decrease for single parents making $75,000 or more and couples earning a combined $150,000 or more. Democrats say this is a way to significantly decrease childhood poverty, and they hope the program becomes permanent. Again, the bill is expected to go up for a vote today. If approved, President Biden could sign it into law this week.
7:35 now. Here are 3 things to know about the COVID-19 vaccine today.
Number 1, soon more people will be eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine in Idaho. The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare is ahead of schedule. It plans to open up vaccinations Monday for Group 3. Now that includes people age 45 to 64. There are 4 subgroups though. So starting Monday, people 55 to 64 living with a medical condition can get the vaccine. And then on March 22nd, people without conditions in that age range will follow. After that, vaccine appointments will open for people 45 and older.
There's roughly 60% of Idahoans who are anxiously awaiting, if not already vaccinated, anxiously waiting to get vaccinated. And then the numbers get a little bit squishier, but somewhere around 20% of the population are in what we would call the interested. They're not opposed to the vaccine, but they're in kind of the, I'm going to wait and see. And that leaves about 20% of the population that has some portion that's in the, I'm never ever going to take the vaccine, or some portion that's going to be much harder to convince to take the vaccine.
Experts say about 55% of adults in Idaho 65 and older have at least 1 shot, but they say the demand for the vaccine is on the decline. As a result, some vaccine providers are struggling to fill those available appointments.
Number 2, take a look at your screen as you can see the percentages of fully vaccinated people by state. We're looking at both Idaho and Washington in that middle blue 9 to 11% range in terms of how much of the state is vaccinated. Look at Montana, though, you can see more than 11% of the state has been vaccinated, so a little ahead of schedule. Now let's look at partial vaccinations. That range of 17 to 21% of states, that's where Washington falls in terms of its overall population who has received 1 shot. And that's in line with the percentages you can see across all of the West Coast. That includes Nevada and Arizona. However, Idaho has less than 17% of their population partially vaccinated as of today.
Well, number 3 here, what does fully vaccinated mean? The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it takes about 2 weeks from inoculation. Now, this includes both doses of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines or 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Experts say patients should take all preventative steps until fully vaccinated.
As for the CDC, they have released guidelines on what you can do and what you should still avoid after you have been fully vaccinated. The agency says fully vaccinated people can visit with other fully vaccinated people inside without wearing masks or social distancing. They can also visit with unvaccinated people from a single household who are at low risk for severe disease, also without wearing a mask or social distancing. They also do not need to quarantine after a known exposure, as long as they have no symptoms. However, the CDC says it is still important to wear a well-fitted mask and socially distance yourself in public and avoid medium and large-sized gatherings.
Fully vaccinated patients can gather indoors with unvaccinated patients from 1 household. Experts say, though, if the unvaccinated people are at high risk, then everyone should wear a mask.
Well, still ahead on Up with KREM, there's a new trend making its way across TikTok and social media. After the break in What's Trending, we learn about a new app that lets us bring old photos back to life.
Pretty cool. And we're also taking you outside, talking an active day of weather today and a beautiful weekend ahead.
Well, the pandemic hit small businesses hard and many places survived just on community support. Coming up at 8:15 on Up with KREM, we speak to a small business owner in Medical Lake about fishing up business in the pandemic.